In 5, 4, 3.
Human Connections 4 here on the Mentor Empire podcast set. The Human Project, if you will. And I even got a fancy new shirt today. I'm here with Dray Gardner. Dray, would you like to say hello?
Hello, everybody.
I cannot wait to tell you about Dray. But before we get started, Dray, I got one thing.
Yes, sir.
Part of this whole podcast series came to fruition. We've been running probably 15 years.
Yes, sir. Long time.
This came to fruition for many reasons, but one of it is inspiring, teaching, instructing, which you do for a living, and helping others, right? And putting it together, I'd come up with the first 50 episodes, or actually maybe 100 episodes between people and things. So there was like choice, ethics, values, truth, morals, facts, reason, all of these words that I think that if people talk through them properly and understand their meaning, we have less reaction to them. And then we can understand each other a little bit better, because it may be the same word to you and I, but we could perceive it differently.
Define different.
Right?
Yes.
So I think the more we talk about these words and do that, the more important it is. So I did something for you because you've been extremely special over these last 15 years. And it's not real special, but it's fun. So it's a one-of-a-kind shirt.
Nice. I'm liking that.
So it's the only one. I'm wearing the only other one. So there's two.
Yeah,
And
that's
this is
what's
for
up.
you. Number one.
Hey, meditating is better than sitting around doing nothing.
I'll tell you what, when you taught me to meditate, I think I actually had to quit smoking. I think I was doing the studio. We were doing a lot of yoga, but I was still a smoker. And I quit smoking for a week, and you were teaching a class, and it was the first time I ever in my life felt mind-body connection.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, because before, the nicotine and stuff in your system. So what I learned is that if you get really clean and you get really quiet, it can be quite rewarding.
Yeah. It's during stillness that you receive downloads. You know, and if you can't sit still with yourself, life will become a blur.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because up until this moment that you and I are sitting right here, the last 20 years of my life has been somewhat of a blur.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we know you work hard, man.
part of this purpose is, number one, to bring you on and tell you thank you for everything you have done for me.
Appreciate it, brother.
I don't think that you even have a clue as to how impactful you've been. I don't think you have any idea. I'm not kidding you. Your classes, when we first met and started doing that Bikram yoga in Stacy's studio. I lived across the street, and you pull up in your little bug with the top down, with Easy E blasting, or Far Side, or something amazing. And you'd come into that class. You brought a singing bowl once. I'll never forget it.
Mm-hmm.
We got all hot and just worked out like crazy. My mind was toast, and you brought out that singing bowl. You told me to lay on my back. You started rubbing that singing bowl, and I swear my whole body. It was crazy.
Yeah.
You understand energy.
Sounds penetrate cells. People don't know that, but sounds penetrate cells.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, so give me a little bit enough of the excitement for me to have you here, number one. So I just publicly, Dray, thank you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you
Truly.
for everything. And it continues on.
Forever grateful.
We'll go into more of that later. But give me a little bit of backstory about Dray Gardner and before I met you, and just kind of a little bit about upbringing. And then after that, we'll roll into a little bit of what you do now.
Okay.
Or when we met, and then a little bit of what you do now, and we'll go from there.
Gotcha. I was raised in South Central Los Angeles, and right around junior high school, we moved to Orange County because my mom was a teacher. She taught high school, so we moved to Orange County into a city called Santa Ana. And everybody thinks, like, when you live in the OC, it's like, ooh, OC like MTV or whatnot. Santa Ana wasn't that. Santa Ana was like a melting pot. It was like the Compton of Orange County.
Okay.
So it was very diverse culturally, and it was amazing. Straight out, you know. From there, graduated from high school, went to Cal State Fullerton, transferred to Chico State, transferred back to Fullerton, UNLV, and I stayed.
You were playing
Football.
at Cal State, and you did go to Chico. What year did you go to Chico?
I went to Chico in '88, so I played football for Cal State Fullerton in '87. My coach transferred to Chico State, so that's why I went. And what was crazy is that two of my junior high school buddies were also transferring at a junior college to Chico State, so we all became roommates. Like my best friends, like a dream come true, to be able to play football in a room with your best friends since junior high school.
And you're still friends with some of those guys today?
Most of them. I got
Yeah.
friendships 40 years, man, 45 years. It's
Man.
incredible.
Yeah, Chico. I'm from Reading,
Oh, okay, yeah.
so Chico was our weekend getaway.
Rancho Chico days, yeah. Chico was off the hook.
Yeah, it was like Isla Vista in Santa Barbara, like
Yeah.
lighting couches on fires, and it was a pretty wild little town.
Oh, yeah, it was, at one point, there was a number one party school in the nation.
Yeah.
I was around there around that time. It was good.
Right. So you're playing ball in California. We've talked a few times. I find it funny, actually. I'm going to dig a little bit deeper, though, because I want to know a little bit more. I think people should know a little bit more because who you've become. But when you say it was like the Compton, like you grew up a little bit rough.
Yeah, 100%.
I still see it come out every once in a while. We'd be hanging out. I'm
Well,
like, ooh.
100%. Growing up in Santa Ana, you had to have a tough skin.
Yeah.
Bottom line, it wasn't a city that was very. If you had soft skin, it was going to be a tough city for you, basically.
Right.
So you had to, at a certain point, either be able to go 10 toes down,
Yeah.
or cower away.
Right. So you leave Santa Ana, or you leave playing ball, you get done with college. Where do you head?
UNLV. I came to UNLV in 1991. $1,000 in my pocket. I was 23 years old.
23 years old, 1991. Mom and dad still in California?
Mom and dad still in California.
Okay.
I was the first one to kind of like, you know what, I'm out of this state. I got to go.
Got it.
And the real reason for me leaving was, I was trying to really change. Like I was trying to be a peaceful person and try to go on my own little path, but I couldn't change in my environment. So I said I have to take myself out of this environment if I want to change. So that's why I decided to come to Vegas. And I really didn't know anybody. I just knew that I could make it.
Did you know that then, or do you know that more so now, that you had to remove yourself from the environment? Did you know it then? Or now looking back in hindsight, you go, oh, yeah.
Well,
Thinking for those young kids right now that are, our age group that I work with, 16 to 21 years old, that are somewhere, that's an important piece for them. Like, if you want to change your environment.
if you want to change, you got to change your environment.
Right.
But two things came to me. I said to myself, well, if I stay in this situation that I'm in, I'm either going to die or I'm going to kill somebody. One or two. Because when I grew up in the era that I grew up, people fought things out. You knuckled up, let's get them, let's throw hands.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, people stop throwing hands and they start shooting.
Yep.
And I didn't want to kill nobody.
Yeah.
I didn't want nobody killing me. I still want to go from the shoulders. So I had to leave.
Got it. So you pack up and off to Vegas.
Packed up and out.
And so you hit Vegas. It's the big city. You're 21 years old?
23.
23 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet your eyes were as big as round as mine were when I hit it. 18, 19 years old.
It was amazing. I went to the Rio casino, and I hit the Rio for like 15 grand gambling. In the first probably 3 weeks I was out here, and I gave them back that 15 grand and like all the other money I had like 2 weeks later. And that's when I realized that I can't gamble in this town. And somebody told me a very serious quote, and it stuck with me. They said, if you cannot lose with the same dignity that you win with, then you shouldn't gamble.
Right.
And I said, okay, well, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm a good winner, but I'm a sore loser when it comes to gambling. Like, I'll be thinking 3 weeks later what I could have done with that money. Like, damn.
Yeah. We work hard for our money.
Exactly. So,
Give
and
it
honestly,
away.
it was a good thing.
Right.
Like, I have no desire whatsoever. Gambling's not in my blood. People, hey, Dre, let me get you somebody to gamble with me. No.
Don't need to.
I'll save your money for you, but I don't gamble.
Right. So you're here, you're 23. You win some money, you lose some money. What happens? What are you doing?
Man, I'm trying to find my way. There was a little, at the time, Vegas was the headquarters for telemarketing. So I ended up getting pulled into telemarketing and did that for a couple of years and made a lot of good money, but it was kind of, my ethics and morals were messing with me.
So you were behind the phone,
Yeah,
selling.
yeah.
That's where it comes from.
Hilarious.
I'm learning more right now. Fast talking. I just love the way you speak when you're in class and when you're motivating and when you're inspiring. You have a tone and a cadence about you, and being able to speak well, that would lend itself to that. So that makes sense that you're doing a lot of talking.
Yeah. I also, kind of thank hip hop for my cadence, because prior to me moving to Vegas, I was really deep into hip hop. We were trying to put out albums and do all kind of stuff. And when I got into yoga, I realized I can say things that I've always wanted to say, and I don't have to worry about rhyming. I can just say it. So it was like, wow, I kind of fell into this in the weirdest way, but it was a blessing.
So from 23 years old, when did you start yoga? So first of all, something bad happened before you even started yoga, right? So.
Well, yeah, I think, my back was just, I've always had back issues,
You played ball.
I played ball. I've always had back issues, been in a couple car accidents, a couple motorcycle accidents. I was a roughneck. I thought my body would never break on me. And as I started aging, working in Vegas, being a VIP host, server captain, back waiter, bartender, I was on my feet and my back was always hurting.
Right.
And finally I went to the doctors, and the doctors was like, "Yo, we can do exploratory back surgery." And I was like, "No, we're not doing that." So I went home and, picked up a yoga mat, found out that yoga could possibly heal you, and I was amazed at the results that I got. So 3 months after my first class, I realized I wanted to become a teacher. And I became a teacher. In teacher training, I had a seizure from dehydration. So that was the first seizure I ever had. I didn't know dehydration could do that to you. I pushed my body to its limit and seized.
Wow.
My second seizure was behind the wheel of a car, and that's the one that changed my life, because at that point they did an MRI, and the MRI revealed that I had a cyst on my spine that had to be removed, and they had to do some spinal surgery. So
Right.
I didn't have an option. And they did the surgery, and yoga was my medicine. Yoga was my physical therapy. I didn't go to physical therapy.
No.
I went back to my yoga mat. After their surgery, after their procedure, they gave me the physical therapy papers.
Right. Yeah, I remember when I first met you. So this would have been 15 years ago almost.
Mhm.
So I'm 30, you're 20, you're a little bit older than I am, but you've been doing yoga for quite a while before we met.
2000, started in 2006, went to training in 2007.
Oh,
I was
wow.
kind of dabbling, in Ashtanga yoga and different forms of yoga, but nothing. When I got into Bikram, when I walked into my first Bikram class, that's what rocked me.
Yeah, man, I hate that what happened with him because
Yeah.
even now it's hard to get to a studio and stuff. But I'd say it's a fountain of youth.
Yeah,
I'd call that out clearly.
I love the practice. I don't necessarily have to love the man who invented the practice. So,
Yeah, the practice.
and I
is something
separate the two.
special.
I separate the two.
Yeah.
But I was there. I was present during all
Yeah.
the stuff that was going down.
Right.
It was happening right in front of my face. But I was focused on getting my certification and taking care of my business.
Right, and you were. So we meet. So you use yoga as your recovery tool, and being able to walk again was like a real thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
a possibility that can't happen, and you use yoga to nurture yourself through that. So we show up on at this time, your late 20s, or early 30s, and
Right.
you show up into yoga. And everything up to that point, mom, dad still around at this point?
Yeah, mom, dad, they live in California. They retired. My mom taught 35 years.
She was a teacher.
Yeah, teacher, high school teacher.
Okay, that
Man,
makes sense.
graduated from USC. And her and my dad met at UCI,
UCI.
University of California, Irvine.
Okay.
So, it was an incredible ride. My dad, he worked with engineering, and he also was a full-time musician. So between his little engineering job and his music, our house was dope.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. And still good relationship with him today?
Oh, 100%. 100%. They're my OGs, man. Like, through and through, true and true.
I forget who I was watching. I think it was your Vegas Dave. I was watching one of his episodes with Michael Sartain, and the way he loved his parents as well too. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It was something special.
100%.
Yeah. He goes, "I'm only in Vegas to take care of my parents." I was like, "All right, fair enough. Could do that." All right. So 31, you get in the yoga scene. That's probably circa 2007, like you said?
Yep, 2007, yep.
So I did come into it right as you started teaching
Yeah, right
within
as I
that year.
Yep.
That was when we started the downtown project stuff, and I'd met Sarah,
Yep,
and she brought me into class, and
Yep.
you were teaching.
yep, Sarah, Joey, you.
Yeah,
Yeah, Hannibal, her brother.
yeah. I still see him running around. He's a great kid. God, I love Hannibal.
And Hannibal's dope.
So we meet, and we get into yoga. So, you've been teaching ever since then, and you haven't stopped.
Yeah, I'll never stop teaching till I leave this body. I really made a commitment to the higher powers that if they, got me back on my feet,
Right.
I will teach yoga forever.
I believe that. Is
Oh,
there
100%.
is there a reason? Do you have your own studio? Like, is there a reason you don't have your own studio yet? I'm so putting you on blast right now because I'm like,
Oh.
does Dray not have his own studio right now?
Yeah, Dray has been part of like 8 studios.
I know.
One thing I realized is that I love yoga. I don't like the business of yoga. So if somebody wants to open a studio, if they take care of the business and just allow me to do the teaching, we can talk. But I don't want to do anything with the business. I don't like that. It takes away from my teaching. It takes away from my love. And I want to be the best version of myself when I'm teaching.
That is extremely insightful of you and admirable because I'll tell you what, I always wanted to run the business.
Right.
Always. I think I've had 14 of them by now.
Yeah.
And it took away my life, took away time with my family, it took away a lot of things.
Yeah.
Now, not all bad, but I will tell you, it has robbed me of a lot of things. While it is my journey and my path, I'm okay with that. That's probably one of the most on point things you could say for people to hear is going into business isn't always what's best.
Yeah, no.
It can chew you up and spit you out. I'm actually backing some businesses down right now so that I can focus more on this, of communicating and engaging with people on an authentic level and talking with them because I've spent so much time running
Right.
that you talk to someone, hey, how's it going? Yeah, right? It's all surface. Very seldom do you get a chance to sit down and hang with people and hang out. We've got to hang out some
Lower
a few
levels.
times. Right, and actually really get to know somebody. There's 6 things you've said already that I'm like, I like Dray more and more. I already like you a ton. But these insightful pieces is you want to do yoga. Let somebody else run the business model.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I realize that, that ownership is not what is best for me.
Yeah.
Especially after, having seizures. When the doctor tells you you have to change your lifestyle,
Yeah.
you have to change your lifestyle. And he told me in regards to, stress. He's like, look, man, we don't know why seizures happen, but typically they're stress induced.
I wish I could feel the difference between stress. You've helped me with that quite a bit through yoga practice, but I'm trying to learn the difference of what is high stress and what is low stress. So I know what high stress is. I know
Right.
what stomach's a mess,
Right.
can't think, can't eat, can't sleep,
Anxiety.
constantly going anxiety. Like I've been running that way for so long, it doesn't matter. It's like it's natural.
That's what you're used to now.
Right. So now as I try and start to slow down, I'm trying to judge what is less stress, right? And I think I'm learning, but I find myself really easily wanting to get lazy too. Like,
Right.
oh, this feels good. Ah.
Well, you
Lay
deserve.
on the couch.
We deserve rest. Rest is an essential part of our life.
Yeah.
And if we're not resting, or getting the proper rest, we're not being the highest versions of ourselves.
Right.
Rest is just as important as working out. A lot of times people just look at rest as what's a part of life. Like I get what I get.
Yeah.
No, rest is part of your health.
It is. And this town, there's a lot of people.
They're burning their candles from both ends.
And I can't say that I haven't been one of them. And it's been a heck of a ride. But they're also on a lot of supplements, if you will. Right? There's a lot of, whether it's testosterone, whether it's Adderall, whether
Yeah.
it's whatever it is. And I watch some of these guys in business and just watch this town. There's people, they use a lot of chemicals to keep it burning that quick.
Right.
I personally, over the last 15 years, haven't. Like, I don't use those, right? And I find that I'm getting tired as I'm getting older. And yoga is one of the things that, for me, re-energizes me without anything else. And that's hard to find.
Yoga's medicine. Yoga's not this physical practice that people think it is. But you come into You come in onto your mat for the first time and you feel it in your body, you feel it in your muscles. But as you stay on that mat longer and longer, it goes deeper and deeper. You know, it's just not muscles, it's past trauma, it's anger and resentment, it's unsolved questions that you might have with yourself that you come to peace with. You know, it's just not this physical exercise that really people look at it as. And I tell them straight out, it saved my life. And I met tons of people in my journey as a teacher whose lives have been changed because of yoga.
Yeah, it changed mine, and your teaching changed mine. And I think for the first time ever in my life, hearing silence, if
Yeah.
that's a possibility. Can you hear silence?
Oh, yeah.
Because I heard it.
Oh, yeah.
I get chills right now.
Oh, yeah.
It was so quiet. Nothing was humming in my head anymore. There wasn't a thought to think, and it was the most joyous feeling I think I've ever had. And that took some serious class and then some serious meditation afterwards.
Yoga is an open-eye moving meditation. So you get the same results from doing yoga as you do from meditating. It's just in yoga that we actually move. When you meditate, you're sitting still. Same results you get.
Don't you think they should be teaching yoga in schools at this point?
You know, if everybody
Breathing.
did yoga, there'd be no war. If everybody did yoga, there wouldn't be all this random gun violence that we see around the country.
Right.
But people don't have the relationship with their self,
Right.
and that's why they're doing all this random violent bullshit. Excuse my
Whatever.
French.
Yeah, no.
It gets frustrating, but you know, what people do to others is a direct relation to has a direct relation to the relationship they have with themselves.
Life's a mirror.
Life's a mirror. So it's easy to gun down somebody when you hate yourself.
Mhm.
When you love yourself, there's no way in God's name you would gun somebody down, because you've been doing the work and you know that person has family behind them,
Yeah.
and they might have kids. You never know what they're going through.
Right.
But these days, they're just pulling out pistols like it's nothing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll continue to work on that, especially in our city.
Yeah.
Right?
My goal is to help uplift humanity, truth be told.
Yeah.
You know, everything that I do, I'm just trying to.
And I believe that is who you are, and obviously we want to do everything we can to help you with that as well, and knowing that we've been part of that journey. So when you talk about wanting to uplift humanity, I think that's one of the things I want to get into next with you is, for years, you've been an inspiration to me and kept me as grounded as I can be, and hopefully can continue to keep me more grounded into the future.
Sure.
And I've been obviously mentoring, and you know that. You've kind of watched the journey along the way. And I don't know, it was probably 6 months ago, maybe even a year ago, you gave me a call. Or I called you. I can't even remember how it happened, but we ended up meeting up at a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
some Thai food. And you were very excited about a project you had going on. Something you had put some time into. And I remember showing up at the restaurant. You had a friend with you. She was sweet as heck. And you laid out to me 365 days worth of, what do you call
Drayisms.
them? I needed you to say it.
Drayisms.
So you laid these out on this table, and you showed me these well, it had been typed at that point, but it was
Yeah.
just in a Word document. And
Yeah.
you were talking to me about how excited you were about it. At the same time, I was working with a new youth here in town. And when I heard you talk about what you were doing, it reminded me of the passion in the eyes of these youth when they talk about what they want to do.
Right.
And it was almost identical. And I'm telling you this for the first time,
Right.
obviously.
I remember the youth.
Right? So your passion behind it, and I remember you said, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I'm going to get this done. And then, obviously, I've been in the printing business for a long time, and you asked for some help. So
Right.
the moment I saw the passion about getting it done in your eyes, I was like, I'm on board. Cool, whatever you need. Let me help with this. Let's get this done. So you did it. You got through it. You got it done. And it's sitting here on the table now.
Yes, sir.
So tell me a little bit about, and thank you
Yes, sir.
for allowing to put this on the back.
Come on,
Everybody
man.
wants to see that.
I am because we are.
And that's the truth, right? If we just started being human, then we can work everything else out from there.
Hey, the 4 hardest things to say is, I was wrong, I'm sorry, I need help, and Worcestershire sauce.
Where's this? And it's the I need help one that's always the hardest, right?
Yeah, straight out.
It really is. I mean, I find myself still doing it today. I got a lot going on. I got multiple businesses doing that whole entrepreneur thing that takes time away. But then I find myself needing help, and I don't know who to turn to. I'm like, wait a minute, Chad. You're the one, you mentor. But where are your mentors, right? I have to keep that in mind. Is don't forget, you didn't get here alone. There's been many people that have helped you along the way, and any one of those people, if you pick up a phone and call them, they're going to answer some questions or
Space holders for us.
Right.
We've done so much work, man. They're space holders. We're just afraid to ask.
Right. So we're going to get better at that. I promise I am too. So we got this book. We called it, was it Tear and Share?
Tear and share.
Tear and Share. So I'm calling it the Good Book of Dray. And each one of these days, tell me a little bit about how this came to be, what it is, and how this can benefit other people.
Gotcha. Well, being a yoga teacher, I've always, talk at the end of class about life. And that's where my heart spills out. And people are always pushing me to record it or get in the book. And I was just like, no, because it comes from my heart. And finally, after getting writer's block from working on another project I've been working on, my brother challenged me to do a book of Drayisms. And there's another gentleman named Jonathan Weaver, who was a Nike executive, who put me in his book. It's called the Anti-Blueprint Project. And I'm like in the center of this book of 50 of the most amazing people that he's met in his life. And when I seen it, like that just basically moved me to action.
Did you feel worthy at that point? So I asked that carefully because the other day I had a very close friend of mine
Right.
who doesn't wear mentor clothing,
Okay.
but is an amazing human being and is a great mentor.
Right.
He takes care of his family, and he's a good guy. And he says, I don't wear mentor. I'm like, why not? And he's like, well, I vape and I smoke some weed and I just don't feel worthy of it. And I was like, you got to be kidding me right now. Like, the fact that you can feel that way is not okay, right?
Right.
But it's amazing when people say things to you out loud or show you or do things as a person, you go, maybe I am okay. Because I know that I questioned myself my entire upbringing. I was one of the most insecure people you've ever met. So when he put you in that book and you saw yourself next to all these people, did that give you the confidence? Was that the moment when you went, okay, I'm getting into action?
I think it was just like he poked the sleeping bear. Like he just.
What emotion did he poke, though? That's what I'm looking for.
It poked like action. Like between my brother challenging me to do it and then me seeing myself in this book, I was just like, yo, I gotta do this. So I stopped, I cut off my social media. So I cut off my Facebook basically. It's still active, but I wasn't spending any time on Facebook. I decided to spend time on my book, and that's how I got it done in less than a year.
Got it.
From thought process to where we have now.
Got it. So you got rid of the noise.
I got rid of the encumbrances. I got rid of the things that no longer serve me.
Right.
Nobody's getting a PhD from Facebook.
They're not handing those out anymore?
They're not handing those out. Do they still hand those out?
No. Let me tell you what, part of my life is social media and marketing and sales, right? And that balance is very difficult, even TikTok now.
Right.
I think that, I might have said this on another show, and I'll say it again now, this is a drug. This phone, wherever, I don't even have it with me. That's how, I literally set it down when it comes to this. It's a drug.
Yeah.
You might as well consider it crack cocaine.
100%.
Consider it the worst, because what we're watching it do to people, and I think that because so many people who have never had an addiction before don't understand what it feels like to have an addiction. They're all like, well, I'm just depressed lately and I'm not feeling myself, and they have all of these issues, but they don't get what it is. It's clear.
Yeah.
Right? It's an addiction. and it gives you all these emotions and feelings. So I'm hoping that as we start to like put that out there and say, listen, this phone, this digital, you got to learn how to manage it. Like you setting it down for a year, you can't accomplish anything if you're just busy looking at something that was created that doesn't serve you, as you said. But ultimately, there's too much for the human brain to comprehend.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, we might be able to think, we might think we can comprehend it, but all it does, there would be nights that I'd go to bed and I'd lay down and the images were just flashing. Nothing of substance.
Right.
But I'd been sitting for an hour just doing this.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
So you turn it off. That couldn't have been easy. What was the magic behind that? If somebody wants to turn theirs off and get a project done.
No, I just, I've never been a big social media person. Like, I don't do yoga for likes. I do yoga to change lives.
Right.
I'm going to do yoga with or without Instagram and social media. I'm going to be doing yoga for the rest of my life.
Right.
So I'm not in this for the quick hit.
Yeah.
I'm not the life coach. I'm not this healer. No.
Right.
I teach yoga and I'm dead ass serious at what I do.
I'm really good at it.
And I don't look for likes. I don't wake up every day and scroll through my phone for likes.
Yeah.
I don't, because to me social media is fake anyways. It's a tad. It's just one step away from the metaverse.
Yeah. In survival on the planet today, it's somewhat necessary. Somewhat. I can't say it's absolute, but it's somewhat necessary, especially if you live in it where it earns money to feed your family, right? So I can't say it doesn't have its uses, but I would agree with you. If we were to turn it all off today, I think the world would start to heal itself almost immediately.
Do you know if they cut off Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, it'd be violent fights that occur within hours in society? If somebody zapped that social media shit out, it'd be like they was fighting for them Popeye's chicken sandwiches a couple years back in the drive-thrus.
Why you say that? What do you think people
Because-
would do? Like, why?
Oh, they're gonna be upset. They're gonna be pissed off.
It'd be like taking a drug away from somebody, right?
Cold turkey?
Yeah.
Oh no, I got problems. Most of society has never even been into a phone booth. They don't know what drop a dime means. They don't know what it's like because
Right.
you go to dinner, this is what you see. A
Yeah.
table full of people on their phones. Like, it's taken away from, smartphones have created disconnected people.
Yes, I agree. Did you see the cup? There's a beer cup. It has a notch in it.
Oh my God.
So you have to set your cup on your phone in order for it to stand up. Meaning you can't be on your phone while you're having a beer. This is the lengths we're going to
Wow.
keep people off of phones. It's obviously on one hand it's ingenious, like awesome, put your phone
100%.
down. On the other hand, why do we have to create that? Because it's a drug. That's crazy. All right, so, well, we're going to continue to try and keep and balance that. This book, and you allowing us to have the human logo on there. You're selling these now.
Yes.
I want to make sure that we're going to get these put up on the mentor site for you, so that they're up there. Every one of these, the tear and share, it's a motivational. If I can add a little plug to this little book, is that doesn't matter to me what age you are, whether you do yoga or not. If you got a little street style, like I believe Dray does, and you like realness,
You're gonna get that.
then these sayings in here probably fit you just
Yes.
perfectly. I
Yes.
remember reading through them, a couple of them going, I'm not sure if you can I was like, yeah, it's Dray, we can publish that. Publish that bad boy. It's him.
Yes.
It's you.
Yes.
It's authentic.
100%.
That's probably what my most favorite thing about it is that it's extremely authentic. It's
I-
how
I-
you talk.
I had to make sure that's why I decided to do it beginning to end with, your assistance. I didn't want anybody else telling me, oh, you should word it like this or word it like that. This is my project. A
Right.
lot of times when you put your project in somebody else's hands, it ends up being our project or a we project, and your original intent starts to get taken away. I just wanted to push.
So did we achieve that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely,
Okay.
100%.
I do remember talking about that.
I'm forever grateful,
I
man.
wanted this to be yours. So like I said, I appreciate you
Yeah.
letting us throw our name on the back of that there. But this is what it's about to me.
Yeah,
That's what it's about to you.
it's
So
about
I
human
think-
connection, and these days, most people leave their house without a positive thought. I find myself often asking people I run across, "Tell me something good, man. Tell me something good, sis." And they're like, I don't know.
Right.
And it shouldn't take that long, or I don't know shouldn't even be the answer when it comes time to tell me something good. I'm
Yeah.
alive. I'm breathing. I'm healthy. I'm pain free.
Right.
I woke up this morning.
Today's a good day. Start with gratitude, right?
Man, our mindset is everything.
Yeah.
The most dangerous thing in our life is our mind, because everything that happens in the physical begins here.
Yeah, it's that connection between your conscious and your subconscious.
Subconscious.
I've been reading Carl Jung.
Okay, good.
He's got some good stuff out there.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot more with philosophy because I feel like potentially the answers to what we need is rooted inside.
It's all inside, bruh. Everything we need, we already got. We just got to activate it.
Yeah.
Learn how to use it.
Do you use TikTok at all?
I run across it, when
Here and
my
there.
daughter sends me little videos, and I'll hang out on it for like 3 or 4 minutes. But no,
Let me tell you what. First, before we talk about social media and its dangerous and drug, I've also you can turn it into a tool because you can get yourself into an echo chamber with the algorithm.
right,
So now when I get home at night, when I try and calm it down,
right,
I'll sit down in a chair and I'll hit my feed and I'll start going. But I've trained my feed to be nothing but positivity
right.
and people who are doing amazing things. The downfall of that is I feel really bad about how much I'm not doing
Right.
because everybody's doing so much great stuff. But there's tons of positivity. But then I'm back to like feeling I'm behind again. I'm like, oh, he's doing great. Oh, that's awesome. They're changing the world. Oh, look, this is fantastic. And so out of trying to keep positivity around, I started falling back again. I said, hold on, Chad. Better go to
Yeah.
Dre's class again.
Yeah.
Get some breath work in
Yes.
and find yourself again because you can't compare yourself against anybody else.
Whenever you compare or compete against anybody else, you will eventually break your own heart.
Yeah.
There's always going to be somebody out there better than you at something.
Right.
And when you compete, it's only a matter of time before you're like, damn, I can't get with them. The only person you should compete with is yourself.
Right. David Goggins. He just moved to town. Do you know David?
David crazy. You motherfuckers, you better get up off your ass. That's what you need to do. Yeah, David crazy, man.
Wake up at 4 a.m. Wake up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Run it, whatever it is. I think everybody uses something differently. Like to each his own, right? Everybody has their own journey. I think that's one of the biggest things that I've respected a lot about you over the years is to each his own. I'm not going to judge you for what you do, right?
Right.
You've never judged me for anything that I do. Like we roll, you do you. I've never seen you come down on anybody else, which I've always appreciated. You'd always just say, "Have fun with that," right? Like,
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. And David and a lot of those guys that are online right now that are pushing some serious motivational talk, they're serious about it.
Oh, 100%.
They are serious. I don't know if I could ever be that serious about that specifically, but that's their journey and that's
Yeah.
what they're on. But he lives here now, and I totally want to meet him.
Okay.
So if we run into him someday, or if I bring him in here, I'm calling you.
We'll run it. You put it out there, the universe will deliver.
Yeah. So he's here, and there's quite a few others in town. And we'll be doing quite a few. Hopefully, we'll be doing quite a few interviews to try and reach. One of the pieces that we want to use this for is Clark County school districts, so that
Okay.
you know. I think I might have told you about this a
Yeah.
short time back. This is just the beginning of providing positive content for the schools to be able to play in the mornings before class.
Right.
Like you said, there's just not enough positive thoughts coming out in the morning. We need something to start our day with.
Yeah.
And that needs to be as absolutely diverse as possible, like this town is. That's, I
Yeah.
think, one of the things. I just got back from South Dakota, and then I came back to Vegas and go to California, and you look, and it's amazing how the difference of different cities still. It's just a trip. But this city is something special.
Oh, real business.
Something special. And Clark County School District needs some help. They need mentors. So we're going to work on that with them as well. Where can someone go to buy your book right now?
They have to either call me or email me,
Right.
and then you can Venmo me, Zelle me, and send me your address, and I'll ship it out.
All right. Do you mind if we put it up on the site for you also?
Absolutely not. I don't mind. I love for you to put up on the site. I think the more the merrier. And again, we have to change our mindset. And one thing that I realized in today's day and age, not too many people want to sit down and have a conversation about some real serious stuff. Nor do they want to read a book. But what they would read or do is just read almost like a fortune cookie, just 8 to 10 little words that could change their day.
Right.
And randomly give it to strangers. And they'll look at you after you walking away, and you just give them that peace sign, like, I'm with you, I see you. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. And that person might hand it to somebody else, like, yo, you need, you just don't know. Never forget the power of planting a seed.
Yeah, those acts of kindness go a long way. So you're giving them a tool to actually, I think that was one of the fun pieces of this project is you're giving someone a tool to actually take an action. Not gonna sit and say, you should do this, or this is how you should think, or this is how you should do, but like, here's an actual tangible physical tool. Read one. I'm gonna read one right now, actually. Hold on. What is today, Dre?
Today's the 2nd.
March?
Yes, sir.
Where does the time go? Do you know what March 1 says?
March 1st, or March 2nd says, what is your why? March 1st, you got me.
Ah, that's good. The longest journey
You will take
is
is
the
a
one
journey.
inside.
Is a journey inside.
That's a good one for today.
We got to do the inside work. It's a must. And we don't. Most of our lives are spent on the external. TV, radio, social media. We got to sit with ourselves.
Right.
And if we can't sit with ourselves, it's going to be hard to sit with anybody else or them sit with you. If you don't love yourself, it's going to be hard to love anybody else and accept love.
Yeah.
So we have to do the work inside. The days of looking for somebody to complete us or make us happy, that's over.
Yeah.
You were born complete. The key to your happiness is in your pocket. You're born with that. You keep that. Somebody comes into your life, y'all enjoy that happiness space together, but if they leave, they don't take the happiness with them.
Right.
You don't get that. That stays here in my pocket. I was born with it. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. Finding it is there's a lot of noise in the world. I'm not sure that the human brain was intended to take in as much as it takes in on a daily basis, not just through social media now, but the problems of the entire world.
Oh, yeah.
So it used to be a problem in our neighborhood, it was a problem with our family, or whatever it was, you could deal with it as it came along. Now we have the problems with our family or our neighborhoods or our friends. Then you have the problems of your city.
Yeah.
Then you have the problems of the city next door. Then you got problems of the state up the way. And now you got the problems of the country next to us. Now you got some issues with the country overseas. And when I say I have problems or I have issues with, like, people are struggling or something's
Right.
not right or it's inconsistent with balance for sure. And we're taking all that in. That took some time for me to really figure out how to turn that off.
You have to be mindful of what you digest, and people think that digesting is just what we eat. It's what you take in, what you listen to, what you watch, what you read, the conversation you're involved in.
Right.
Like, all that affects your energy, and your energy speaks before you say a word.
Yeah, man, you couldn't have said that more true. And the more and more philosophy I read, the more and more I see that.
Oh, yeah.
It's all that positive, you feed yourself nothing but positive, you're going to get a positive return. You feed nothing but negative. And I think there's a saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
future,
My
yeah.
parents used to always, used to say that to me.
Yeah.
I run with the greatest crowd when I was young, and I'll tell you what, it has so much truth to it.
My dad told me when you hang with 9 broke friends, you're bound to be the 10th one. So be careful of your friends.
So who would you, we're gonna cut a segment here. We're gonna stop for a second, but just to close it out, before we start the next one, I want to ask you some questions about mentoring specifically, since we are here on the mentor set.
Gotcha.
And this is going to be a hard one for you, but outside of your mother and father, living or not living, who would you say was that one person, that mentor that changed, that defining moment in your life where you're like, if he or she hadn't have done that, or just taken a little bit of time out of their life to help me with that, this would be a different world today. And then when we come back,
My football coach,
man, everybody says a coach or a teacher.
Ed Medina.
Ed Medina.
I played Pop Warner football. That's where I met, moving from South Central Los Angeles, I didn't know anybody in Orange County. And then we all met on the football field. And, in sports, it speaks for itself. So I got accepted by a lot of people I didn't even really know because my football game was right. And then over time, we just continued to grow and grow and grow. And, yeah, I'm forever grateful to that coach because he honestly treated us like men. Like, that's when he grabbed it by the face mask. He screamed in your face, "Hey, parent, if you don't like it, get his ass and get him the hell up out of here. I don't come out here to lose. I come out here from work." Like, he come out here dusty, and it's all. These were grown-ass men who treated us like we were seniors in high school.
Right.
And to me, that's where my foundation was set in terms of discipline.
Got it.
And although that, football was a big part of my life, my true sport was wrestling and jiu-jitsu. So I was spending time in the hot room, in a hot box where everybody else was running track. I was learning how to manipulate joints.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Coach. All right, is he
Yeah,
still
coach.
around?
Yeah, he is. Actually, he just retired from teaching after he probably taught 45 years because he became a teacher afterwards. He ended up finishing teaching girls softball.
Okay.
So he got generations of kids' lives he's touched. He has no idea.
We'll make sure we get him a gift off.
Oh yeah, Ed Medina and Kathy Medina, his wife, like they were the ultimate coach, team mother. Like,
Love that.
you want to be on their team, regardless how hard it was. They were the business.
God, I love hearing that. All right, we'll take a break for a second. We're gonna come right back.
In 5, 4, 3.
All right, so we're back.
Yeah.
And took a little break, shake it off, let the blood flow. And we're having a little conversation about we all need to heal. And you started, I want you to talk exactly about what you were just saying again.
Yeah, before COVID even hit, I've always said that we as a people all need to do some time on healing. We show up for the parties, we show up for the weddings, for the dinners, for the guys' night, the girls' night, the UFC night. But when it comes time to do some healing, we don't want to show up. And I really don't understand that as human beings. We know that we have problems, whether personal or otherwise, but we refuse to get help. I'm trying to normalize healing. I'm trying to normalize therapy because that's the steps I took to get to where I am. And I could pretty much say I'm in a good place, but it took a lot of work.
Right.
It's not easy. Some people call it deep shadow work, but I don't want to refer to it as a deep shadow because in order to heal, you have to acknowledge the fact that there is a problem.
Right.
And healing doesn't mean it never happened. It just simply means it no longer affects your present or could affect your future. See, that's what people don't realize. They think healing means, I forgot about it. No, healing does not mean you forgot about it. But you got to go inside to heal. If you put a Band-Aid on it or Gorilla Glue or crazy glue, that's not healing the wound. That's just the wound is still going to bleed.
Right.
And when we look at all the things we've carried with us from our past, at some point the load is going to break us down unless we start to heal.
Right. And I think you could probably say that there's not anybody that doesn't have some sort of wound or trauma if they've lived in this world, right?
100%. I mean, we're born imperfect. You show me a perfect person, I'm going to show you a perfect liar. You know, we were born to make mistakes, have mishaps, fall down, cry, dust ourselves off, and get back in this game called life.
Right.
Just like in yoga. You know, when you fall down, you get back up. What happens on that mat parallels life out there in the real world. But
Yeah.
we have to take time to heal.
I remember taking people to their yoga class for the first time,
Yeah.
and they just end up in a ball of tears on the floor.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. I actually enjoyed it because I knew that they were starting the process, right? The
Yeah.
fact that they reached something where they had that release was a good thing.
And crying is a purge. It's letting go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that energy, that when you let it go too, it does feel so
The
much
hardest
lighter.
thing to do is let go. We fight to hold on, we fight to let go.
Right,
But in life, we have to learn to let go, or else life is just going to continue to get heavier and heavier.
right.
Because things happen in life that, you know, everything that happens in life happens from neutrality. How we react to it is what makes it positive or negative, light or dark, painful or peaceful. But the world's not picking on you. The world's not picking on me. This is just what happened. So practice the pause, sit with self, and then address the reaction instead of as soon as something happens, I'm going to. No, that means life's never in your control. If you're reactionary, life will never be in your control. So your mind has to be stronger than your emotions, or else you'll be controlled by the outside world.
I think it, in this, one of the books I've recently read, I think it said that. It talked about the difference between the subconscious, like your thoughts are not yours,
No,
but how you react to your thoughts is in your control.
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying.
that's where the true
Is
power
the
is.
thoughts are going to come through your head continuously. It's not something that you can control. Thoughts just come in and come out.
How people treat you has, like, you can't control how people treat you. The
Right.
only thing you can control is how you react
Yeah.
to how they treat you, and that's where your power. That's where the real power is.
But I'll tell you the difference between not having that and learning that. That's something that my father definitely taught me. I would say that for sure. But a lot later in life than I needed it.
Right.
I don't know. I just wasn't ready to receive it, however. But reactionary for sure for most of my life. But once I figured out that I'm not that important, it's not about me. Those narcissistic tendencies that
Yeah, that we sometimes have.
sometimes have, looking in a mirror and just saying, no one cares about you. Let it go. I mean, they do, but the relationships that you build in this life are the ones that matter.
Yeah.
I try and teach the kids that. I say, listen, nothing matters except for the relationships you build and you grow and you nurture. Because when it's done and it's over, those relationships are the only thing that you have to take with you. Now, the guy right now in a different city whose mailbox just got hit by a car and his dog got off the leash and ran away, what does it matter?
Yeah.
Nothing matters but the relationships. Your and I's relationship will matter to me.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the things. So I'm with you there. 1,000%. Just be human, like you said.
Be human, and you know, we're all here to learn some lessons, help each other out, and we're going home. We're leaving here. We're leaving Earth School. We're gonna leave this body.
And it's going to happen to all of us.
Nobody,
Isn't
two
that-
things we're guaranteed is change and impermanence. None of us are leaving this one alive.
I've seen that come across a lot on my actually feed. It says a man starts living his real life when he realizes that he only has one.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
this is it. You get it and you're out of here.
Nobody teaches us that though as we're growing up. Like they really don't teach us that. You got to find this stuff out yourself.
No, they don't. And
That's what frustrated me about the whole educational system. They didn't talk about self-love, and they didn't talk about, like, you know, being a good person, because you will be leaving this world.
right.
And what you do in this lifetime will dictate where your soul travels in the next.
Yeah.
So if people realize that if they're assholes in this lifetime, then the next lifetime they're going to get served up that asshole, they'd be nice. Karma. There's no expiration date on karma.
There is no
On
expiration
bad
date.
behavior and disrespect.
And what you believe, your morals, your ethics, your values, how you were raised, where you were raised, those are things that determine that thought process. Because there are some that will say, I don't believe in that, so it doesn't affect me. Others
Right.
would say, I believe in that, so it affects me. And I think that that's something that we need to also continue to talk about more as humans and trying to connect with one another is, I actually have some stuff up here on the board, like resources, morals, values, principles, knowledge, ethics, truth, perception, religion, science, war, drugs, sex, facts, data. Like the word facts. Like we could disagree on what the word facts is. I see people
Yeah.
do it all the time. It's like, is it a fact or is it a truth? Is it
Right.
your truth or is it my truth?
Right.
Is it actually, like, there's actually, that's what they don't teach us, like you said, in schools. Like, we're not talking about some of the harder stuff. And, you know, religion being one of those, and I know you must be spiritual because you're chakra guy for sure,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I'm spiritual.
Yeah, I mean, you're chakra guy, and I don't know that I'm anything yet. I'm still searching and floating through the universe, but I did come up with one that's been helpful working with the kids that I've been working with is, it keeps me like Switzerland. I'm not going to choose one or the other, right? That's for you to choose. You figure
Right.
out what works best for you. So, if you were to look at a diamond, and my wife gave this to me a lot of years ago. She goes, if you were to look at a diamond and pretend that that diamond was God, it was all-knowing, all-seeing, whatever
Right.
you want to believe that it is, and that beauty is the God. But all those facets are the religions and the stories. So it takes 144 religions we have in the world right
Right.
now. If it takes all of those facets to make up that beautiful piece, I like the thought process of that because now I don't have to say you're wrong. I
Yeah.
can let you do you, and right, anybody, whatever makes you a better person, I'm with you
As long as you ain't hurt nobody, live your life to the fullest.
to the fullest. And not judging people for that or shaming them, I think is something I've found extreme comfort in, and surround my people, circle of influence are definitely those people that, in my reality, that do that stay open.
Yeah.
And no matter which way you run, I'm okay with that.
I think that that's what makes our friendship and brotherhood so special. We come from opposite ends. We come from far opposites, but real recognize real.
It's true.
Truth be told, and it's not that invisible thread is not thin when it comes to you and I. That invisible thread is thick. They say the invisible thread runs through all the human beings.
Yeah.
But our thread is thick, bro.
Connected.
Yeah,
For sure.
100%.
So, want to make sure again that you know how much I appreciate you, no matter what.
My man.
Absolutely-
man.
Absolutely love you to death. Number two, I know you do private classes, and I know you do corporate
Yes, corporate.
classes,
Corporate
right?
wellness.
And that pays the bills and keeps the lights on and does that stuff. So, if any of our listeners have even thought about it, reach out to me personally,
Yeah.
and I'll connect you with Dray for sure. At some point, we as a company here will be in a position where you'll be coming in, and when we get the center done up and come in and teach our team.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. That's a fact. We'll get the book up on the site. Hopefully you're with us for the ride. I always tell everybody, start with being human. We'll work everything else out from there.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to create a club or a group of people. I guess what the Mentor Empire is trying to do is put out positive affirmation so that there's a net positive return on it.
Right.
Like we talked in the beginning, if you just keep putting out positive, more positive will come back. And there's no authenticity anymore. I can't say that. There's
It's hard to
authenticity.
find.
It's harder to find. So if we could be the proponents of more authenticity and who we really are, and talking and communicating, was it Gandhi who said, "Be the change you want to see in the world"?
Yeah,
Cliche,
Gandhi.
right? It's Gandhi.
Mahatma, yeah.
Right. But I believe it. I hear it. I feel that. It feels right.
Yeah.
So we'll keep doing that. You and I have matching shirts now. That's how good we
I
are.
love that. Yeah, I just, as we close out, I just can't really stress the importance of self-love. And self-love is not loving bits and pieces of you. Self-love is loving your totality. Even when you're disgusted with some of the things that have happened or whatnot, you still have to love yourself, period. And, if you don't love yourself, it's going to be hard for anybody to love you or you love them. Your self-hate will flare up in your relationship.
What do you tell a 16, 17, 18-year-old young man, young woman right now? How do you even start finding that self-love? How?
Really just doing some introspection, and knowing that, you know, what happened in our past was not necessarily our fault.
You can't pick your parents. You can't pick where you were born. You can't pick what
But
type
it
of
is
family
our
you're born
responsibility
into.
to heal. It is our responsibility to heal.
Right.
And our parents, they did their best.
Yes, they did.
All our relatives did their best until they knew better. And once you know better, you do better. We know better. So any generational trauma that might be coming down the pipeline, the buck stops here.
Right.
Period. Yeah, and I'm a seer. I'm a seer. Everybody loves it. I'm a seer till I see them. I'm a seer. So all the generational trauma and,
Yeah.
you know, that stops. So there's no excuse not to heal.
We'll continue to try and put more resources out there for someone to raise their hand and say, I need some help. And hopefully that starts, like you said, with school, with teachers and coaches and people. Just say something,
Yeah.
right? Say something. Suicide rates, the stuff that's happening, it's unfortunate. It's not necessary. It can be changed, but there needs to be a lot more people waving a flag that says, I'm here to help if you need it,
Right.
so they don't feel lost.
Yeah. Lost in the sauce.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else that this world needs to know, Dre? I know you got a lot in there, and I'm sure we'll do more of these. But
Yes. No, just, you know that leave your footprint on this planet in a positive way.
Oh yeah, you got a camera right there. Why don't you talk right into it?
There we
That's
go.
your camera.
Leave your footprint on this planet in a positive way that you were here. And may all your names not be forgotten. And when it's all said and done, you know, you hear people bragging about the celebrities they hung out with and this and that. That's not what it's about. It's about the people you sat with and helped make better. So it's not about the great people you stood with. It's the broken people you sat with and made a difference. And that's why I will continue to teach yoga, meditation, self-love, and hang out with positive people who are on my same path. Surround yourself with positivity. You're going in the right direction. Namaste.
Namaste, Dre. Love you, brother.
Love you.
Cut it, bro. We're good.